Hey, it is 12 noon on Friday, which means it's time for this week's episode of State of Real Estate. I'm John Christman. The show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate. Every Friday, 12 noon Eastern Time, we're here live helping you understand how to grow your real estate business, how to create more success in real estate. And one of those essential things that you want to be doing is holding open houses. And look, if you're too good to hold an open house, you need to have a team that is holding open houses every weekend. Until you get to that point, you're not good enough to not hold open houses. So open houses are essential. Now, why a lot of agents get frustrated with open houses is they might say something along the lines of, oh, I didn't go to get anybody that turns out to my open house. Well, that's not a problem with the open house. It's a problem with you marketing and advertising and getting exposure for that open house. So that's what I want to talk about today. Helping you develop a marketing strategy that's going to maximize the turnout at your open houses. So I'm super excited to bring today's show to you. I'm John Chrismo. You're watching State of Real Estate.
You are watching
State of Real Estate. Every Friday at 12 noon Eastern Time. Grow your real estate business. You're watching State of Real Estate. Hey, welcome back to this week's episode of State of Real Estate. I'm John Christman. The show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate. We are live every Friday, 12 noon Eastern Time. You got comments, you've got questions, drop them in the chat here. I'm loading those chats up right now as we speak. If you're watching us on YouTube, what's up YouTube? Send us a message. If you're watching us on Facebook, what's up Facebook? Send us a message. If you're watching us on our Success Center as well, thank you guys for tuning in. Send us a message. Let us know what it is that you need further help understanding here on this week's episode of State of Real Estate, where we're talking about open houses. Talking about open houses, holding open houses, how to maximize your open house. And in particular, maximizing the exposure you're getting for this open house. Because if you ever held an open house before where the turnout was less than what you wanted, less than what you desired, it's because you did not maximize the exposure of that open house. You've got to be maximizing the exposure of your open house. You've got to make sure that anybody potentially interested in this open house is going to be there at your open house. Now, just a quick rundown of the benefits of doing open house, because look, I said earlier before we started the show, I was saying you're never too good for open houses. And if you think you're too good for open houses, you better have a team in place that's holding open houses every single weekend, because nobody's too good for open houses. Open houses are really the time for us to shine as a professional, and the goal here isn't to sell the house. That's a huge bonus if we get that house sold, if we actually do get an offer for that house. If we even just get an offer, maybe it doesn't even result in a contract, but if we at least get an offer for the open house, man, that is a huge bonus of the open house. But that's not the goal of the open house. That's not what you're doing there at the open house. I mean, it's fantastic if you do get a contract. That's amazing. You just hit the lotto. But don't expect that. That's only going to happen about 1% of the time, if even that much. So that means you hold an open house. You hold an open house every Saturday and Sunday for an entire year, roughly about 100 open houses. You're only going to get one of those open houses under contract. Which, look, again, the goal here is not to get that house sold. It's to get exposure. Because what you're going to do is you're going to get these people walking through the door. You're going to get buyers walking through the door. You're going to get sellers walking through the door. And really, they're one of these two categories. You may be a renter, but it's a renter who's considering buying. Otherwise, they wouldn't just be looking at an open house that's for sale. So you're getting these people in the door. It's your job to identify, are they a buyer? Well, if they're buying a house, they might also be selling their current house. Or maybe they're thinking about selling their current house, which would also make them a buyer. They're really, unless they don't own a home right now, they're almost always both of these, both a buyer and a seller. And even if they're outside your market, that's where you use referral fees to ultimately still get a piece of that business, to make sure they get in touch with a good agent and you get a piece of that business still. Look, we're going to take a quick commercial break, but stick with us. We're talking about maximizing exposure on your open houses. I'm John Chrismo. You're watching State of Real Estate. What's required to become a Florida real estate broker? Well, a few things. Number one, you have to have at least 2 years experience as a sales associate or a broker. Now, this experience could actually even be earned outside of Florida. It just has to be 2 years within the last 5 years. So 2 years of experience to become a broker. You also need to take a pre-licensing course. The broker pre-licensing course is 72 hours. It's got a 100 question and of course exam. Once you pass that and file all your paperwork with the state to upgrade to a broker license, then you just need to pass your state exam. That's another 100 question exam. You need to get a 75% on that. You complete those items and you'll have a Florida real estate broker license where you can open your own office or just remain with your current broker as a broker associate. To find out more about upgrading your real estate license to broker, check out upgradetobroker.com. That's upgradetobroker.com. You're watching State of Real Estate. Hey, welcome back to this week's episode of State of Real Estate. My name is John Chrismo, and this show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate. We're here every Friday at 12 noon Eastern Time, helping you understand how to grow your real estate business. And what we're talking about is maximizing exposure. So before the break, we're just talking about why it's so important to hold open houses. Yeah, you might get the bonus that house gets sold, but really the real money to be made here is the connections that you're making with potential buyers, with potential sellers. Now, we've done tons of episodes before on open houses and talking about what you want to do at the open house to maximize on the people walking in on the door. But now today we're focusing more so on how do we get these people in the door in the first place? How do you develop a marketing plan for your open house to ensure that you're not just sitting there at the open house, just sitting there waiting like, oh, come on. Hopefully somebody shows up. God, I'm missing my kids' whatever game. I'm missing whatever on TV. I'm missing the fair. I'm missing the strawberry festival. I'm missing whatever. That's what you're going to be thinking about when you're just sitting there bored out of your mind because no one's showing up at an open house. And I've been there before. I've held crappy open houses. And the only reason why the open house gets the brunt of it because we're blaming the open house when it's not the open house's fault. It's our fault for not maximizing the exposure of the open house. So what we want to do is just kind of, again, go through a rundown of how it is that we're going to market this open house. What it is that we're going to do to ultimately get these buyers and sellers walking in the door at our open house. So a few different ways it is that we can try to advertise this open house. Now the easiest way, the most minimal thing it is you could do is a social media post. And now with this social media post, a couple of things I would recommend. Number one, it should be promoted. Because if you're on social media and you're not paying to promote what you're putting on social media, you're wasting your time. I'll say that again. If you're on social media and you're not paying to promote your business post, now I'm not talking about, promoting your selfies and promoting that crap. No. I mean, that's okay. That's the stuff that people usually gets more traction with. But when we try to put an advertisement on Facebook and we try to do that without paying for Facebook's advertising, Facebook realizes people don't care about seeing ads. They realize that they don't want to just see a post of, hey, come check out my open house this weekend. You make that post, you're going to get very little traction unless it is promoted. So when you are advertising, you have to pay to do that advertisement. So don't waste your time making a post if you're not going to promote it. And look, you might not have the budget right now to spend money on a promoted post. So I would say it's not even really worth your time to make a post unless you're going to promote it because you might get that seen by like 5 of your friends. Are those the people you want to show up at your open house? Your 5 friends and that's it? No, you want new people that you haven't met before so you can start to build that relationship and again, use the open house for what it is. A little mixer of you getting to interact with potential buyers and sellers and winning them over and establishing that relationship with them and showing how you can help them with all of their real estate needs. So number one, it should be promoted. Number two, I'm going to strongly recommend that this is a video. Now, obviously, you see how much videos we do here at Tampa School of Real Estate, and that's because people love video, especially if it's some sort of advertisement. And I'm not just saying a video of yourself, maybe a tour, a preview of the property. Some sort of tour preview type of thing. Just something to pique their interest. Now, you've got to watch this, your shots that you take. And look, you can honestly do this with the cameras that you got in your phone. These cameras are super powerful, especially if you have a recent phone. If you've got like an iPhone 3 or something like that, don't use the camera in your phone. But if you've got a modern day phone from like the last year or two, it should be able to take really great video. So you go in there. Not like this. Take your videos like this. Make it look like it's professional. Go in there. Use the two hands. Go nice and slow. Make sure it's lit. Turn on the lights. Open the blinds, because nothing makes a video look bad. If you guys could see in this studio that we have here, there's lights everywhere. I'm practically blinded every time it is that we go live because a dark video does not look good. So make sure there's lights on. And if it looks dark, if it looks dingy, if it looks gross, if it doesn't look inviting, it's not going to be a good open house. You've got to make sure that you pick the right open house when you're choosing to hold open houses, because if you've got a house that's vacant, that doesn't have any light fixtures, that's just a dark, dingy looking like dungeon type of thing, that's not going to be an ideal environment to find buyers and sellers. They're going to be scared in there because they're like, oh, why is it so dark in here? Why is it so creepy? Oh, I better get out of here before this realtor, like axe murders me or something. They're going to think they're in a horror movie if they're sitting in a dark open house. And your video, our videos, the video cameras, even great video cameras, are not as good as our eyes are. So that everything's going to look darker when you take a video of it as opposed to when you're seeing it in person. So make sure it's well lit. Do it during the daytime. Make these videos during the daytime. Don't make it at night or anything like that. It needs to be well lit. And really, it should open up always with an introduction of you. Maybe not like this. Go buy yourself a little tripod. You get a tripod for like $20 on Amazon that'll hold your phone. Set that up. Go back there. And then, this will have to be edited together. There's apps on your phone that could do this stuff really easily. You're not trying to make a blockbuster film. If you want to go on Fiverr.com or something like that, pay $10-20 for somebody to edit this together. When you're going to spend money to promote this, you want something that it's going to catch their attention. Again, you don't need crazy special effects or anything like that. You just need some little transitions that makes it look almost like, it's a TV show. It doesn't need to be anything crazy. It just needs to be professional. Hey, I'm John Carissimo here. I'm going to give you a sneak peek of 123 Main Street. I'm going to be here this weekend on Saturday holding an open house here at 123 Main Street. You guys are going to love this property. Let's go take a quick look. And then there you go. Now you just got your little scenes. Maybe add a little bit of voiceovers like, check out this spacious dining area right here. That's all for the tour. If you want to see more, make sure you're here this weekend, 12 noon, RSVP at the link below. Now, what I just did there, so real nice little teaser video. So a little bit of a teaser of the property. And now notice how I had the RSVP. Now, yes, adding an RSVP feature, an RSVP function, you might think, oh, well, I don't want people to RSVP. I just want them to come. I want everybody to come. They don't need to RSVP. Wrong. You do want them to RSVP. Why do you want them to RSVP? Because when they do RSVP, there's still going to be people that show up without RSVPing, but you're going to get very crucial information. Email, phone number, name. And you want to set yourself up basically a very simple form that will have this information. Cool, RSVP to the open house. What's your name? What's your email? What's your phone number? What time are you expected to arrive? So now you already have the contact info. Not even you just use the open house to get them enticed to giving you your contact info. Now you've got their contact info. So even if they don't show up, hey, sorry I missed you at the open house. I'm actually going to be back in that neighborhood tomorrow if you wanted me to give you guys a private tour of the property. How does that sound? Oh yeah, we're really not interested. Hey, I completely understand. Now, when you filled out that form, What was it that you liked about that property? What was it that made you RSVP to that house? Oh, we really like it. Had a big backyard. And it's like, oh, you know what? There's another property. Do you guys like that neighborhood or do you not like that neighborhood? And again, now this just rolls into our other qualifying and sales skills that we have here because we got this contact. Open houses are for lead generation. They're one of the best ways to lead generate because you could rapid fire the lead generation. And this is really good for if you don't like cold calling or door knocking or doing these other things because you're getting people to come to you. And honestly, it is always better. It's always going to be better quality when you have people coming to you as opposed to you reaching out to them. I'm not I'm not knocking cold calling, I'm not knocking door knocking or anything like that, but if you could get a pipeline of business of people lined up to come to you, that will always work better than calling somebody cold or knocking on their door. And open houses give you this opportunity, but it is going to cost you in marketing. If you do want to get the appropriate amount of exposure on this here to make sure that people see this, you don't want to invest all this work. I mean, I'm talking about a lot of things, making a video, making sure it's edited, it's well lit, having an RSV form. I mean, we're talking about a few hours of work just to have a promoted social media post on top of the money that you're spending to promote that post. So this isn't something that you're just like deciding to do on a whim. This is something that you're very strategically planning. But I guarantee you spend a couple $100s on this, you're going to get a much greater return on your investment than spending a couple $100 marketing anywhere else, whether that's through Zillow, whether that's through Realtor.com, or even through your own website, because you're getting face-to-face interactions when these people show up, and nothing is greater than a face-to-face interaction. And look, if you're okay with door knocking and cold calling and all that other type of stuff, you could use that as additional ways to maximize the exposure of your open house. So look, this is the social media post idea here. We're going to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to talk about the other methods that you could use to maximize exposure for your open house. Hey, so if you're thinking about starting a real estate career, it could feel a little overwhelming sometimes. Look, that's completely understandable. That's why we're here to help. If you haven't already, check out our Success Center, tampaschool.com/success, or if you don't even know where to begin, give us a call. We'd love to help you out. We've got advisors standing by to answer any questions you have and assist you in any way it is that we can. Our phone number is 813-928-0106. Again, that's 813-928-0106. Give us a call. We're the Tampa School of Real Estate. You're watching State of Real Estate. Hey, welcome back to this week's episode of State of Real Estate. I'm John Chrisman. This show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate. We're here every Friday, 12 noon Eastern Time, helping you grow your real estate business. We want to see you become successful because we know when we make you successful, or at least we help, because that's on you of making yourself successful. We're just here to help. But if we could help you become successful even a little bit, we know you're going to be grateful. We know you're going to be appreciative. We know you're going to come to us for post-licensing, continuing education, as well as recommend to all your friends and family, where to go, Tampa School of Real Estate, because we're helpful. We help you become successful. And isn't that all we want in real estate? We just want a little bit of success, maybe a lot of success. And let's be honest, I want a lot of success. I'm sure you do as well. But we're talking about maximizing the exposure to your open houses today. Now, again, social media, that's only one channel, and you should not rely on any one channel, because how about this? Ask yourself this question. What happens if Facebook goes down? If Facebook, gets shut down by the government? I'm not saying that's going to happen. It's probably not going to happen. Facebook's probably going to be around for a long time, but look what happened to MySpace. MySpace is still around, but is anybody promoting their business on MySpace? No, I don't even think anybody still uses MySpace. So, or what were the other ones with Friendster and all these other things that kind of came and gone. You got to really commend Facebook for how long it is they've stuck around, but you've also got to always wonder, when will their time come? Has their time already came? Maybe, who knows? So you don't want to rely on just one of anything and just one marketing channel either. So what's something that's, pretty tried and true that you could absolutely still use? And that's good old-fashioned mail. Good old-fashioned mail. Now, what you want to do ultimately is have a multi-fronted attack essentially on your audience. So not only are they seeing you in their news feeds on Instagram and Facebook or Twitter or whatever it is that your customers are, not only are they seeing you there, but they're also seeing you in their mailbox. That you've got a little postcard. So this is the postcard technique here. Now with a postcard, it needs to be full color. Don't send out black and white postcards, you're wasting your money. Because when somebody sees a black and white postcard, it's not going to catch their eye. They're probably just going to throw it out. That's why you don't see black and white postcards. Every postcard is full color, and you want to take advantage of that. You want to have a nice picture of the open house here, maybe showcasing this house and how great it is. And then maybe a little banner up here. Maybe put that one in red. I mean, you can see my drawing up here is black and white, but maybe something like this, open house. So something like that. Really showcase the picture, and maybe just a little, and if you want to run static image ads on Facebook, this is a really good way to do it. Because Facebook, that'll automatically downgrade any post that you make on there when it's more than like 20% text in your image. So if you want to run an image ad on Facebook, just put a picture of the house there with maybe a little banner in the corner that says open house. I still recommend that you do the video, but don't rely on just one thing. People aren't always going to watch videos. Maybe your video is just garbage and it's not going to work well, and you've got a great picture of the property though. So don't rely on one thing. You could use the same exact strategy when you're doing it online, but I would still send mail, direct mail to the people as well. Because again, we're trying to maximize the open house. You should be thinking, what happens if too many people show up? What am I going to do when too many people show up? Because that's what you want to plan for. You don't want to plan for like 2, 3, 4 people to come. You want 20, 30, 40, 50 people showing up at this open house. You're going to say, well, John, what am I going to do when 50 people show up at the open house? You're going to make some money. That's what you're going to do. You're not going to be able to talk to everyone, but you're going to be able to establish relationships, and you're going to realize how powerful open houses can be if you get even 20 people that show up at your open house. What else can you do where you spend a couple hours on a Saturday and you meet 20 potential clients, 20 potential buyers, 20 potential sellers? I mean, you're going to do open houses more. That's what's going to happen. So that's what you want to plan for. So you're doing a full force attack, essentially, of disseminating the information about the open house to make sure anybody who's even remotely interested in a property that's even remotely similar to this one shows up at your open house. That's the goal here, at least. So we send out a postcard. Then you use the back side of this here. And the back side of this postcard, that's where you could put the details of the open house. You're invited to the open house at this date, at this time, blah, 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 blah. Should you include the price? I'd skip it. Should you include much details about the property? I'd skip it. Why? Because you want to be elusive. You want to, even that video that we have, that teaser video, the whole thing, it's all about a tease. Because again, we're not trying to sell that house. We're not trying to sell the property that we're marketing here. We're trying to get traffic. We're trying to get feet in the door. Because If we say 4 bedrooms, they're like, oh, well, we really need 5 bedrooms. They're going to show up at your open house? Absolutely not, because it's too small, so they're not going to be there. And then what happens? You miss out on that potential traffic. So everything is designed to be a tease. Very minimal, very basic information. Open house, this date, this time, this is the address, refreshments served, mortgage lender on site, because, maybe they're concerned with, and if you don't have a mortgage lender on site, don't say that. So get a loan officer, somebody that could kind of tag along with you on these open houses here. And you say, well, how do I get a loan officer to come to the open house? You tell them that, hey, there's going to be 20, 30 people at this open house. And what's going to happen when there's not 20 or 30 people at the open house? Well, that loan officer is going to say, well, why did you lie to me? You said there's going to be 20 or 30 people. There's only been 2 people that have showed up here. So what this is going to do, this is going to raise the stakes. So now it's no longer just you relying on the foot traffic. It's also the lender. And hey, bonus here, you could usually get these mortgage loan officers to chip in on the cost. Hey, have the mortgage loan officer be the one that purchased the sandwich ring and the refreshments and the snacks and all that other stuff. Let that be their expense. Hey, I'll pay for the marketing, which is going to be the big expense. Or hey, maybe you pay for the marketing, which is going to be the big expense. Make sure that you control it, because you're going to know what to do. after watching this. So again, elusive, teaser, very basic information with this. Now there's even more ways to maximize exposure to your open house, but we're going to take a quick commercial break. Stick with us. I'm John Chrismo. You're watching State of Real Estate. Are you studying for your Florida real estate exam? If you are, you need to check out our Pass First Try strategy. You're going to love this. It's 4 steps that we break down the process to study for your Florida real estate exam. So you're set up to pass your Florida real estate exam because that's what you're studying for, right? To pass your exam. It's 4 steps. Number 1, you learn the information. You've got to learn this to be able to pass the exam, but it doesn't stop at learning. Step 2, you've got to reinforce the basic, simple, key concepts. As you learn this information, keep reviewing the simple things. You don't need to know everything, but you got to review these basic key concepts. Step 3, you've got to test your knowledge. The exam's going to test your knowledge, so if you don't test your knowledge in advance, you won't find out if you know what you think you know until you take the exam. And then step 4 is be confident and prepared, because even if you know this material, you need to be confident that you know the material. Check out the full strategy at passfirsttry.com. That's passfirsttry.com. You're watching State of Real Estate. And welcome back to this week's episode of State of Real Estate. So far today, we talked about why it's important that you're holding open houses to establish relationships with potential buyers and sellers. We talked about using a social media post, preferably a video, but also, again, don't rely on just video. Do picture ads, do the carousel ads, all the different ways it is that you could advertise on social media. Don't rely just on Facebook. Make sure you're on Instagram too. Real easy because they're both owned by Facebook. If your audience is on Twitter, then maybe. If your audience is on Snapchat, then maybe. But if you're not advertising to people under 25 or under 30, if you've got a house that's maybe $700,000, $800,000, chances are the people under 30 are not going to be able to afford that $700,000, $800,000 house. So make sure you make use of the targeting functionality of this here. But ultimately, when you do advertise this open house, the one thing, because we've talked about 2 ways, the postcard, the social media. Another thing that I highly recommend that you do is the face-to-face. Now, that is going to be more time-consuming, but in order to do that face-to-face, in order to do the direct mail, in order to even to do the social media advertising, you've got to understand where it is that you're marketing. So now that question is, where? Where are you advertising this open house? So, we've got some streets here. Maybe the neighborhood doesn't look like this. Maybe it's more of a neighborhood, and here's that house right there on the corner. Let's make this even bigger than that. Let's say, that's basically where it is here. So you want to find, and you want to set your budgets accordingly to this here based on how much it is that you're going to spend, but you want to find a radius within this property here. And you do this right in Facebook. You put in an address and you want to say if it's within 1 mile. That's probably going to be where it is that you want to start, because to advertise anything further is going to cost much more money. I mean, just going from 1 mile to 2 mile radius, you're doubling your cost. So start out with 1 mile. Do that first, because look, chances are, first time you implement this, you're going to have some failures. You're going to have some lessons that you learn. You're going to be wrong about some things, and that's okay, as long as you learn from your mistakes. So this is the area. This is where you want to have the social post right within the same neighborhood of that open house. Why? Few reasons. Number 1, these people are already in the neighborhood. So they already live right around this house. So chances are they're more likely to come than somebody who lives 20, 30, 40 miles away. You might still get those people that live super far away. But what happens now when you advertise this to the neighbors of this property? Number 1, they're already closer, so they're more likely to show up. Number 2, if they're thinking about selling, these nosy neighbors you get showing up at the open house, they're going to want to see the competition. And so that's where you've got to identify at the open house whether they're a buyer, a seller client, or both. Chances are they're probably both. So that's another reason why you want to advertise to just around that open house. Yet another reason, maybe they've got a friend or family member who wants to move to where they live. Now, hey, check out this house. This just went up for sale in my neighborhood. It's a great neighborhood. I know you'd love it. Come check it out. And those are the people that are going to travel from far and wide. And that's where you do have higher potential of maybe getting that house sold. But again, the goal here isn't to sell that house. The goal here is to just start establishing relationships with people. Even if they do want to buy that house, chances are they're not going to make an offer right there on the spot. They'll probably still want to look at some other properties, and then maybe they'll be ready to make an offer on that property. So keep that all in mind when you're talking to people at the open house, that they're probably not going to buy today. So don't try to push them to buy today, because that's just going to distance you from them. That's just going to make it seem like you're just there to get a quick sale. No, they want to see that you care about them. So that's what you're there to do, to care about them. But that doesn't matter if you don't get them to show up at your open house in the first place. So in order to do that, again, you got to maximize the exposure. Send out the postcards to the addresses within this radius here. Show up at the doors with a flyer. Say, hey, my name is John Carissimo. I'm from ABC Realty. We're holding an open house this weekend down the street here. I'd really love to see if you guys would come. We've got some refreshments. We're going to have all kinds of information for you. How does that sound? Do you want to come? No? Why don't you want to come? Oh, yeah, you're not. Of course you're not interested in buying the house. It's right here in the same neighborhood. I just figured you'd like to see, just in case you ever do want to sell. How long have you lived here, if you don't mind me asking? Oh, wow, you've lived here for 8 years. Have you ever thought about selling? Yeah, you have. Well, look, just come check out the house. That way you're able to see the competition and know what's out there, to see what a house like this and how it compares to yours. I mean, this place looks pretty nice, so I'm sure your house is nicer than this one here. But at least, come check it out and see what it's going for. And I'd really appreciate it if you could stop by so we could get some feedback. I want to give some anonymous feedback to the seller about what people think about the price, the condition, and whatnot, because it will make my job a lot easier. So what do you say? Look, I'll set aside a sandwich. What kind of sandwiches you like? Oh, you don't like sandwiches? Well, you name what you want, and I'll make sure it's there for you. Now, that face-to-face, that's not going to happen when you're, just a video or you're a postcard or whatever the case may be. When you're able to start a conversation and start a dialogue, yeah, they still might not show up at the open house, but you already have accomplished your objective, again, of getting a relationship started with these people. So going door to door, this is a really good reason to go door to door, because you're holding an open house. Hey, I wanted to invite you to the open house we're having down the street. Now, chances are they won't want to go. Say, oh, well, yeah, if you don't mind me asking, why don't you want to come? And get an answer from them. And again, now you're starting this dialogue. And the deeper it is you get in conversation, the more relationship it is that you have. And remember, that's how you turn a contact into a contract. You have to have the R, the relationship. Without the R, your contact will never become a contract. Look, that's about all the time we've got for today. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hopefully this gives you some insight on how to advertise and market your open houses. Because remember, if you're not getting people showing up at your open houses, don't waste time holding an open house. If you're just sitting there wasting time hoping that somebody will show up, you shouldn't be hoping that they're showing up. You should be hoping that too many people don't show up, because you really went overboard on marketing and getting exposure on this open house. That's what you should, but really the problem there is you just having enough manpower. So that's where, look, you do this and you do this consistently, you will get results. You will meet more people. You will get better and ultimately have a better business. And then you're able to grow beyond yourself, start building out a team. And look, this is a long process. This doesn't happen overnight. But open houses are so essential. It's so key. And I've yet to see any agents really doing open houses properly. I mean, aside from maybe the stuff you see on TV, they do open houses pretty good with their $1 million budgets and whatnot. And their budgets really aren't even that big. But they do set a good example, because that's what our audience, that's what our buyers and sellers, this is what they think of real estate. They think we're HGTV. They think that we're the $1 million listing people, except for we're just not that good. So we got to show them that, yes, we are that good. We've got to surpass their expectations of a good real estate professional. And having a good open house is a great way to showcase your professionalism, your skills, your abilities, and really show them that you are the obvious choice as their real estate agent. Look, that's all the time we've got for today. So again, thank you for tuning in. If you've got questions about starting a real estate career, completing your post-licensing, continuing education, maybe getting your broker license, give us a call. Our phone number is 813-333-2676. Again, that's 813-333-2676. Again, all the time we've got for today. If you want to rewatch this episode or any of our episodes, go to tampaschool.com/success. Again, that's tampaschool.com/success. Thank you guys again for tuning in. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for subscribing. And I'll see you guys next week. Have you seen what's going on in Tampa?
If you're looking to get in on the real estate action that's going on in Tampa right now, we're who you need to talk to. We can help you get your real estate license, start your real estate career. We're here to assist you for the life of your real estate career. Give us a call. Phone number is 813-928-0106, or check us out online at tampaschool.com.
Do you want to incorporate studying for your real estate exams into your busy schedule? Now you can review the key topics you need to know to pass your class and state exams with our MP3 audio review. Simply pop in your headphones or connect to your car to reinforce crucial information while you exercise or drive. Listen to the first unit for free at mp3audioreview.com. That's mp3audioreview.com.
Hey, if you're enjoying the show today, which I'm sure you are, be sure to hit like, subscribe, post your comments, share with your friends and family. Thank you guys so much for watching.
You are watching
State of Real Estate. Every Friday at 12 noon Eastern Time. Grow your real estate business. You're watching State of Real Estate.